All right, I am live. I'm gonna let it sit here. Wait till the first person gets on. Some people are gonna watch it later. Some people are gonna watch it live. Nobody's gonna get here right at the very beginning and have to go back and do the deal because I'm a dumbass rookie and haven't figured out. I tried to set it up so that it would do like start in 10 minutes and it would give a warning, but it didn't work. I've tried it several times, so I'll have to try again. We're in the holding pattern. This is the 5-minute. Hey, it's gonna start. Anybody out there an Adam Sandler fan? I'll do this at the very beginning. Kevin Dunn, Mr. Dunner. Dunner's in the house. Look at that. The only way Kevin can get a hold of me is to call me, is to get on a chat. He's called me several times, and I have not been able to take the call. What's up, Mr. Dunner? All right, that's what I'm talking about. It's going to be fun to see today what happens, Kevin, because it has been this last 2.5 weeks since the update came out have got to be probably the lowest point I've gotten in this game because the lag is so bad. It got this way earlier in the year. I actually didn't make a tournament and I had some really bad lag issues and I stopped and I took steps and I upgraded stuff at that time and it came back and then everything was good and I got right back on track. So when the update came out with the new needle, all the way through the Redwood tournament, I had huge lag problems. I mean, like huge. And then on Tuesday, I went out Monday and tried to just practice, and it was so bad that I got some practice in, but that was it. And then on Tuesday, I got new internet. So I went out and qualified my 77 account on Tuesday, and I only had just a little teeny bit of lag on like hole 1 on the needle when I was going to the cup, but it wasn't bad. It was like playable. So I was like super excited. I came home on Wednesday and told my wife, I said, yeah, I'm jazzed, I'm back on, you know, like I can start doing the deal. And I got on Wednesday and I had 3 timeouts in odd odds qualifying round, and one of them I didn't pick it up and I ended up getting a par, and the other 2 I got a hole in one, and then I ended up making the shot that would have been for Albie and ended up getting back on track. But the freaking lag has been so bad that I really it's like bowling and you're supposed to hit the ones down the center lane and you keep seeing the ones on either side keep flipping over, and so it has sucked. All right, let's get at it. I'm gonna play. The only account that I have to play is my 77 account, so that's it. So that's what I'm playing. That's what I'm playing. Hole number 1. Now I'm gonna stop here real quick because every time I do this, my teammate Mike D gets pissed at me because he doesn't have notifications on. I am streaming. I'm going to text Kyle. I'm going to text Scooby. Because Scooby definitely doesn't have anything on. And when I talk to him, he's always like, hey man, I didn't know you were out. I didn't know you were streaming. That's because I'm a rookie. and I haven't been able to get the hey I'm streaming notice to come up. Ricky bastards. All right, I notified a few people. I let a few people know. Mr. Brady's in the house. All right. All right. We got Kevin and Kyle. We had Mike D. We'd have all 3 presidents of the clans. Okay, here we go. Hole number 1, drew more links. Hole number 2, and my goals here today are real simple. The minimum score is minus 12. That makes minus 24. So like on the acceptable or unacceptable rate, anything less, obviously, anything less than a minus 24 is an absolute epic fail. And if I have to get a minus 24 because I picked up an eagle and I made up on another shot, that is an absolute epic fail. There's a minimum score that we're looking for on every hole, and if I can't shoot that without any, and like I should be able to shoot that with a great to the left or the right, the perfect, and like no big deal, no fuss, no muss. So if I'm getting so much lag that I can't do that, I am screwed. Screwed. So my goal today, my goal on my goal sheet is, it says minimum score minus 12. My minimum is minus 14. Like that is like, if you want to say that you're in the banner hunt, you've got to shoot a 28 or better. Now you may be in a bracket where something less than that gets you there, but really you need to be 28 or better. So like my minimum score, like if you're just looking to be in that group, you got to shoot a 28. So that's got to be the minimum. So 14 per side is my minimum, and my goal in the weekend round is minus 30 plus is what I think it's going to take to win. But you could win with a 28. You could win with a 27. But I think most brackets are going to probably be 29. I'll split the difference. You're going to be right there. So here we go. Hole number 1, Grizzly Navigator, half a backspin. Now I was setting this shot up. I set it up different than what I set it up the last time, and I went back and looked at the notes from the last time we played this hole, and I'm going to shoot it the way that I was shooting it the last time. And a Navigator is a 1 power ball. And I think the only 1 power ball that I have with low wind is an Olympus ball, and I'm really, I mean, if you make a good wind adjustment, at this point it's not really going to make that big of a difference. Get my calculator working. Texting Scooby there, he's texted me back and says, how do I get on? So I had to tell him how to get on. Scooby's an old guy like me. I think he's like 19. I think he's a little older than me. If you ever hear Scooby, he talks, he's got that grady old, Scooby's on the channel. Daniel Carlton's in the house, Mr. Scooby. If you ever talk to Scooby, he sounds like that quintessential New Yorker. He's got that gravelly little New Yorker voice. And he sounds like he's older than he is. He's got that voice of experience. I went and stayed at his house for a couple days. We played Clash of Kings together, and we played for years, and he was my backup. So like when I went on vacation or if I went somewhere, you had to have somebody that you could trust that could log into your account and wasn't going to steal your shit. And that happened. I mean, not that we witnessed that happen where somebody was like, yeah, and they let somebody in their account to check it out. That was like a leader in that group, and while the leader was in there, he just went ahead and stole it. It happens. White ring off. And what I was doing was I was going like blue ring off. And so it was changing the spin. 15%. It's 4.14 rings. Kind of great to the right. It's pretty excited there though. That it may look a little jumpy, but a little jumpy from compared to where it's been as far as how much lag I've been getting. It was bad. Arr. I'm gonna have to sit down. I'm gonna have to make a list of things that I need, so like when I can change it so that the screen says "Arr." What up, Vintage Golf? Vintage is in the house. Yeah, this hole right here, that right there. Ooh. Yeah, that the first time we played this hole in a tournament, that happened to me in the weekend round, like both times. I think that hole ruined my entire round. If it hadn't been for that hole, I would have been in like serious contention to win. And it ate my lunch. So when the last time we played it, which was in the St. Patrick's Day tournament, my expectations on that hole were like really low. I talked to Dale Appleby about it. We were talking about that hole, and I started coming at it in a different direction. And my buddy Terry gave me a great tip on the wind. I kept not hitting it perfect, and I couldn't tell like if I need to make an adjustment. And he gave me a tip on it at plus 15, and that started working. The last time that was in a tournament, I dropped that hole. That was the surprise hole of the tournament, because it was the hole that like I had no expectations coming in, and it became a hole that I was getting hole-in-one on. Kyle Brady's in the house. Let me tell you what, everybody, Kyle is on a tear. He is like tearing it up. He's like all over these holes. I mean, like if he put an actual round together where he got the eagle or he got the Albury or he got the hole-in-one, and he put all the holes that he's gotten those on together, wow. There's probably like only one or two holes that he hasn't gotten, like he's got 7 of the holes where he's been like hammering them. That means that's a potential picking up of plus 14 on top of the minus 24, so that's a 38. And so, like, you know, the expectation is he's bummed out when he shoots a 32. But I will tell you that while that is superhuman, for most brackets, I think if you can shoot around 30, you're in the hunt, and you got a serious shot. I don't normally play these holes, but I'm trying to get this backspin shot down. I'm trying to get my wind adjustment, and I'm going to do a 50% wind adjustment here. So it's 2-2, that'd be 1-1, that'd be 3-3. I'm gonna ride the red line, and let's see if I can hammer it perfect. I want to end up on the right hand side of the cup or in the hole. You hit it perfect. And I'm okay about the distance. Look at where I came in. I would still be on the left-hand side of that cup. I'm telling you, if you do that rough bump down, if you do the backspin shot down at the bottom, for me, anyways, I'm going to have to do, because it's like where you're doing the rough bumps up here, and where the pin's at's here, because when you hit the rough bump, it rolls out and then it rolls down towards the cup. Well, when you start in that hole, you're actually lower than the cup, and so it's way down in the hole. But I haven't been able to practice enough because of lag, but I'm feeling pretty good right now. At least it feels like I'm getting a little bit, but yeah, that's so much better than what I've been getting. Hey, let me pick my prism chest while I'm here. See what the deal is. Now sometimes it does lag at this point right here. Half the time it goes really fast, and half the time it goes, we're going real slow. I tapped. The off-roader. There's very few epics that I'm like, there's some obvious epics, and then there's some epics that like people might be putting stuff in their tsunami, and that the deal is that I'm a long ways off on those clubs, so like it's not at this point. There's some clubs like this off-roader. I want to get that off-roader to level 8. That's a club that that's an epic that I definitely want to get maxed out, because at level 7 or level 8, and definitely level 8, you will no longer play with the Nirvana. I mean, that club is the club. All right, I'm on hole number 2. Hole number 2 is Drew Moore Links, hole number 3. Michael Durham. Look at that. Mike D in the house. Alright, I'm playing this with a rock and a kingmaker. And I'm coming in with a sniper. I'm going to do minus 10 to the cup. And I'm going to do minus 5 on the drive. I want to take my rock and my sniper. Now I know, I know that I can hit this perfect and 1 ring great to the right. And I know if I hit it 2 rings great to the left that it bleeds out into the rough. And that you can, if you don't have lag, you can get up on the green and you can recover. You may not be able to get all the way to the green, but you can put yourself in a really good position to recover. But if I hit it 1 ring great to the left, I don't know if there's enough room. So I'm not going to try and hit it 1 ring great to the left. I'd rather hit it perfect. But I'm not going to be too upset if it hits 1 ring great to the left. I want to make sure I set my shot up so that I've got a little bit of leeway. So in the weekend round, if I don't hit it perfect on that shot, I know that, if I hit it 1 ring great to the left or the right, it's still going to clear its path. Here we go. Ooh. Okay, I want to be 3 3/4 rings off. And I'm going to put max on. 3/4. I'm taking 1/5 off, so 3/2 pull. Max curl. And hit 1 ring great on the left. All right, so that's the shot right there for me. So that's what I had on my notes for the last time we played this hole. So if the wind's going in a different direction, it may push you a little bit harder one way or the other, but you can make adjustments off of. If I used a QB there, it depends on which ball you bring. So if you bring a Titan, it's one of those things where a lot of holes you can practice with a Titan, and then in the weekend round you can pop up to a Kingmaker. This isn't one of those holes. If you're going to play a Kingmaker, you got to play a Kingmaker. If you're going to play a Titan, you got to play a Titan, because you're going to set the shot up for that ball with that side spin. And once you get it set up for that ball and that club, then anybody that comes here that's crossing their fingers on whether or not that shot's going to end up in the right spot, the deal is on that particular hole, that drive, you can tag it to the same spot and be in a very similar area. It's 0.9 times 1.9. 1.71 rings. Man, I'm way up there. Excellent. .71 rings. There's 1.5. 1.7. Nice and easy. I hit it great to the left. This is the deal. It's gonna piss me off. I'm gonna keep switching back and forth. If it's going from the left to the right, I keep hitting to the right, and if it's hitting from the right to the left, I keep hitting to the, I head to the left. And I haven't hit it perfect yet. Need to get into a rhythm. I am so far off of rhythm after, and it's been coming, but I don't know what they did in that update, but I'm not the only one that's experiencing problems. And the deal is that you can almost deal with it when it's in the needle. Sometimes it's beyond dealing with, but where it really screws you is when you're out in the field and you're trying to make your adjustment and you're moving the screen and you're blowing it up and you're twisting it around and you're doing the thing where like you're moving it and you're expecting and you're like already to the spot and it hasn't gotten there yet. I've been taking shots with like 1 second left and timing out. So having like not being in the red yet and still being able to set the shot up. All right. Getting it perfect. What up, Dez? What's up, Eco Bird? I've never talked to Des on the phone. How come you've never called me, Des? You know, if we're on the messenger thing, I think we can talk worldwide, right? I mean, I talked to Kevin, he's in Canada. I talked to Dale, he's in Canada. I am not. Am I going to practice this hole? Not with that wind. Let's get rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. I think the Kings are doing awesome. I saw on the our clan is trying to do a tournament, and so we had a questionnaire on like what kind of clubs. I mean, if you think about that, there's some stuff to think about, like what kind of clubs, how many games are you going to play? Is it like 3 games, like a 3-game friendly, or are we making people play 9 holes? The more the merrier. But it was brought up that with the time zone stuff, that it'd be hard, like if you're trying to coordinate a tournament like that, it can be hard. Hole number 3, 3 more links. Hole number 1. All right, all right. The wind on this particular hole is not blowing, in my opinion, where it's good for either shot. The first time that I came on this hole in the practice round on Monday, I shot out to here with a big topper, and I got way out there. I was in like mid short iron, and the way the wind was blowing, it felt like it was a crosswind. It felt like the wind was coming like this, and I thought to myself at the time, wow, it seems like this shot right here, the wind would be going right with you, but it doesn't seem like that's how the wind's going. Whose bubble went down? What bubble went down, Scooby? What are you talking about? I'm going to hit over to this spot one more time. I'm going to hit over there one more time. And I really want to pay attention to where the freaking wind's blowing. There is a rough bump that you can do over here, and it's supposed to be 1 for 1. And I don't think there's any elevation adjustment. Is this the right hole? Yeah, it's 0% to the cup. And I was using an extra mile. I set this shot up with an extra mile, and if you do it with an extra mile, you do 1 less than max backspin. So if you add an extra mile 8, it'd be just about all of it. That was with a Kingmaker. And that bag right there. Alright. And you could probably take that shot with a QB, and I think Kyle told me you can take it with a QB. So let's take a QB and we'll check it out. We'll check it out with a QB because that'd be a better club to take. And I think it was max topspin. Max topspin and to flavor. It's better to be a little short than it is to be a little long. Because if you're a little long here with a 3 power ball, you're going to be right at your red line between your short iron and your wood, and you may be in a spot where neither one of them work. So if you're using a 3 power ball, it would be better to be a little short. If you were using a 2 power ball, you could probably get just as far out there on the drive, and you'd always make it so that you weren't in your red line. You'd be more towards mid, but you might not be right at mid. Or, excuse me, not mid, but minimum. My bubble went down on my castle. Oh, shit. So, Scooby one time, I'm Scooby's backup. But he had recently changed some stuff, and I didn't have access to his accounts. And Scooby comes up missing. And this is some serious stuff. I mean, people have serious money in this. Like, I know that sounds really strange, but people have dropped a dime. Like, people here think that, spending $100 on a pack. This game offered packs every day. Like, they had specials every day. And they had a monthly pack that you paid $25 a month for. And if you paid $25 for that monthly pack, it would give you what you needed so that you could run shields every day, and it gave you some resources, and it gave you a bunch of stuff, and it gave it to you every day. And that was your maintenance. And so almost everybody did the $25 a month just to maintain your stuff. And then when you talk about people spending money to maintain or get better because it was keeping up with the Joneses, and there was no keeping up with the Joneses because the game was totally rigged. It was totally dominated by the Chinese, and it was a Chinese game. And so, like, it was totally rigged. Like, if you had people that were in the party that had big money, they had literally workers that played the game like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then when they wanted to get on, they could get on and they could hammer you. And if anything happened to their stuff, they could make a phone call, and miraculously their stuff got fixed. There's 2, 3. Imagine digging a hole from here to China and dumping money into it forever. That's exactly what it was. That's why I play Golf Clash now. That's why Scooby plays Golf Clash now. I was like Scooby's sponsor. I got him off of it. Yeah, Scooby got in trouble and went to jail, and so his castle got attacked. And I mean not attacked. I mean, like, the big boys on the other side like surrounded him and pounded him to death, like that. And it started a whole freaking war because we have guys on our side that are the same thing, but money doesn't mess with money, right? They don't go toe to toe very often. Okay, that's not how you stay at the top. You got guys below you that go toe to toe that lose all their shit and have to build it up. Not those guys at the top. So then a big war, and so we couldn't get a hold of him for the whole weekend. And he lost, I'm like being dead serious here. For those of you that have only played Golf Clash, or you think a $4.99 pack, or you want to be purist and stuff, like, I am not kidding you that like the amount of stuff that he lost in the 3 days that he was gone was literally like $10,000 worth of stuff that you don't get back, that you got to rebuild. And I got the right ball here. So I'm going to do a 60% wind adjustment this time. If I can get where I can see the damn ball. So 60%, 10% would be 0.3. That'd be 6 times 0.3 would be 1.8. So it'd be 4.8. 100% accurate photo. 4.8. See if I can snap it off. Perfect. And see if a 60% puts me on the right hand side of the cup. All I'm trying to do is get on the right hand side of the freaking cup. I mean, I'm kidding you. That's a 60% wind adjustment, and I still ended up on the left, and the wind was blowing to the left. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, that's some serious gaming. We knew a guy in that game. I don't know how old he was. I think he was probably a little young and got access to a credit card. And he spent, we know for a fact that he spent 15 grand in like a matter of like 30 days. So anytime you see this game and you think about playing like where you're playing and how much money you're spending, I'm interested in having some fun, and you got to spend some money so that the game can stay out. But the deal is that you got to match your expectations. I don't want to go back to playing Clash of Kings. That's why I play Rookie. That's a fact. Nordic Forwards. I need some water. Hold on. We'll get another one. We'll get a dose. What's up, Dane? Dane Park. In the house. How many we got watching? We got 12? That's awesome. Awesome. Alright, where the hell are we? We're in Nordic Fjords. Hold number 2. This hole right here. Alright. Alright. So I'm gonna do the rough bump, and I'm gonna take a sniper and a katana. And I'm doing 3 backspin, 3 toss spin, 3 left hand side spin. And on this side, Kyle tells me it's plus 25%. So that's what I'm going to use. But I'm telling you on that, if you're trying to do a backspin shot down there at the bottom, I have no idea what the problem is. I have no idea what the deal is. I know it's lower, but I mean, it's like, that was a 60% wind adjustment. Alright, so let's go get a sniper and a katana. It's not katana. Katana. It's not katana, Dale. It's katana. Freaking Canadians. Dale is awesome. Every Canadian I know is absolutely awesome. I've been to Canada, Vancouver, British Columbia. It's beautiful up there. Victoria Island. Done some scuba diving up in the Gulf Islands. Yeah, they're the Gulf. They're the San Juans in the United States. They're in the San Juan Islands, and they're the Gulf Islands on the Canadian side. Sniper, katana. Here we roll. Rolling down the street. I remember when people first started playing and they finally got a card maxed out, or even if they didn't have them maxed out, they were constantly pissed that they were getting common cards. It's like, this is bullshit. I get way too many common cards, and it seemed like we used to get more common cards than we get now opening up certain chests, but people bitched about getting common cards, and I always thought to myself, and I've even shot some videos talking about it, where it's like, why are you bitching about getting common cards? And then when they started maxing them out, they were all like bitching about the thing, and I'm like who cares, man? Leanne Lewis, what's up? Got Dane Park. Is it Dane Park? The deal is we have a lot of people that play in our clan that what their game name is and what their name is. Like if they get in here, I have no idea. Like it's 3-3. Find this foot. See, bitch. 3.2 equals 4. 4 ring pull. Watch me time out. And I haven't had a bit of lag. Hitting it perfect. Can't believe I got that off in time. It wasn't line. I wasn't getting it to the. It wasn't going to the cup like I wanted it to. If I moved it just a little teeny bit, it made a big jump. I should have recognized that and just started on that side of the jump. That's getting to play the holes and just learning those little nuances of the holes and figuring it out. I'm never too upset when I don't. The whole deal for me is that I'm not the guy that can shoot. That I don't really think about the like putting the whole round together where like every shot that you think you can make, you make. Where you shoot that 36 or that 35 or the 34 or even the 32. I'm more of like if you can go out there and shoot a consistent round and pick up like a certain number at just a percentage of that, you're in the spot. Depending on your bracket, you could be in a really good spot. A lot of that bracket stuff has to do with where you've taken your account. So if you've taken your account to Masters, you're only going to be playing against Masters. If you've taken it to Expert, you're only going to be playing against Experts. So you have to expect you're going to be playing against people that have varying things. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You see that lag right there? Okay, let's not do that. Okay, we're on hole number 5. I'm going to fire the game back up. Hole number 5. Nordic Fjords, hole number 6. Alright. Taking a firework ball. I suppose I could. Buy some of those Power 5 balls, so I have one right now. That's what I could do. Because I think with a Power 5 ball here, I think with a Power 5 ball you don't have to do overpower. Maybe you do. I'm just going to take a Power 4 ball and we're going to try it one more time with the Power 4 and see what it looks like. Because the last time I was here, I overshot this hole. So I put on everything just to see what it would do, like how far would it go, and it went too far. So I'm going to put on 2 less than max topspin and do the same shot. Maybe 3. I'd almost rather be short. No, I'm gonna work my way down. We'll see where it ends up. sometimes you like to get stuff out of your system because it's like, man, I should really be taking that shot over there. And if you don't try it and go over there and look at it, at least take a look at it. And like if you find in the weekend round you're having a little bit of problems, or you feel like you need to change something because you're just playing flat, and that's on one of those holes, you won't know. Like, you know, like there's a ton of different ways to play some of these holes. Some holes, you know, I mean, there's still a ton of different ways to play. Like this par 4, you could lay it up. If you're playing one-on-one, if you came out here with a marlin ball, like where you put it, depending on what the wind is. I do the bounce over shot like that all the time in one-on-one, and just try and lay it up right out in this area right here. But Playdemic is in the ball manufacturing company. They're a ball manufacturing company, so they're not. They want to encourage holes like this, where like you have several shots that you can do. If you got a 3 power ball, you can hit from over here. But if you have a 4 or 5 power ball, you can hit from over there. Okay, there's max topspin, so there's 2 less than max. What does that put me? And if I leave the wind in, I'm going to take, there's 3 less than max. I'm going to do 5 topspin. Hit it 2 rings straight to the left. If it clears this fairway right here, that was actually the side to hit it on. Because the other side, 2 rings great, would put me really close to clipping that rough and either losing so much speed that I was a long chip on, or I'd get caught up in it. So that was 3 less than max topspin. And with the speed that was going, if there's a backboard here, so if it, what you want it to do is go up enough that it catches that backboard and it'll fall back down to the cup. You have a really low chance of making it, but you've got a serious chance of having a short putt. And this is, but right now I have a backboard that I have to deal with. So this is one of those ones, if you use topspin, you're going to end up with a tail. So this is, hey, you want to give me that shot, dude? I'll take it. I mean, I will tell you that me personally, my own code is that I'm not going to forfeit to help or hurt my opponent. And I would never forfeit if it would help my opponent, because the deal is that I want, you know, like, the whole deal is let's shoot our round. So sometimes I'm not going to help or hurt them, but I mean, I will take that. But on that particular type of chip, instead of running like you normally would with the rapier, where you run the topspin up, then you got to deal with the drop. That's one of the shots with our rapier that we have to do what people do with an inbringer. You put on like 1 backspin and you get right up to the cup, and it takes all that drop out, and it'll go right to it. Anytime you're out there and you're trying to get your ball guide and you're trying to run it out and the ball guide keeps appearing and disappearing, immediately abandon that shot and go to the shot where you just put on 1 or 2 backspin and go right to the cup. And what you're doing is you're bouncing over all of that inconsistency, and then it's just going to go right in. But wind might be a factor. All right, if you can't be good, be lucky. The force was with me. Was it Leanne's birthday? Did Leanne have a birthday? Hole number 6. What am I taking on hole number 6? I'm taking a QB, a Kingmaker. Let's go look at it. I especially when we're jumping around like this, I can't remember until I see them, like what I'm doing there. Okay, so QB, Kingmaker, half a top spin, maximum left-hand side spin, curl to flavor. One shot at a time. If you got lower developed clubs, a rock is better here. Because because your quarterback hasn't developed its distance yet, and your rock will have more raw distance, even though it has less topspin. And so you can, and that way you can get your second bounce so that it's over the sand. But if you have an upper developed QB, you can get over the sand and it's not an issue. But if you use a rock, I think you got to use a lot of, no, I think you can use, I think if you got a lower developed one, you're still going to have to make a slight adjustment, but it won't be bad. All right, here we roll. I did have that chip. I had that chip, and the deal is that that's the type of chip, though, that you abandon the topspin and you just bounce it in. And it's one of those ones that if you set it up right, you can hit it great to the left or the right or perfect, and it'll go in. Even though wind may be a factor, you're still that close. Half a backspin. Maybe 3 rings off. 2.9 is 100% accurate, so it's 1 per ring. A little less than 3 rings. Who's counting? A little bit of curl to just bring it back to the fairway. Hitting it perfect. Wow. I think I've hit like 3 shots perfect now. I'm on a roll. It's like 3 out of 30, right? I'm at like 10. I'm at like 10%. The last 2 weeks the lag has been so bad that I don't know that I've hit 3 perfects in the last 2 weeks. That Redwood Cup final in the weekend round, I had lag so bad that it really wasn't even worth playing. I mean, that's how it was on Monday. I think I posted a practice. Did I post a practice round? I think I posted a practice round. Yeah, that's the thing, is why did he forfeit? Like, why, if you were actually playing the tournament, the guy in front of you is actually, he still would have ended up with a good score. And back further. That ball guy's lying its ass off. I'll tell you that. It's 2.9. And I'm doing a plus 10%, so that's 3.3. 3.2, 3.3. All right, great to the right. R. Where's the R emoji? How many games played on this account? I'm not sure if this account's at 10,000. What up, Darren? Yeah, I apologize if I miss you if you get on there, and if I miss you. I'm used to doing. I've got to get used to, and I'm still a fucking rookie. Okay, that's the deal. Still rookie, man. still a rookie at the stream and stuff. I've been shooting videos for a couple years, and I've got like 3,800 videos out of different holes in tournaments, tournament play. Different ways to come at them. Especially like if you're playing a tour. If you're playing a tour like we just got done with the Oasis 9-hole Cup. Like if you go up to that tour, like going back and like watching the walkthroughs on the ones where it's the whole course. Or we played like Arcadia Reserve, or we played one of those courses, going back through and watching the walkthrough for whatever tournament that came out in. Okay, I'm gonna try 100%, because I want to end up on the right hand side. I want to know that there's some end to this. So it's 3/9, so that would be 6, that would be, that's 8. A little less than 8. 7. Oh shit, now I'm all jacked up. I didn't account for having to pull that much out. Now, I don't care where I end up as distance, but that actually looked like it might have been close to being on the right hand side. I've done a bunch of different shots out in the fairway on this, and I like the rough bump. I'm gonna do the rough bump in the tournament play, but I'm still practicing. I want to see like what it takes to get going towards the cup, and then I'll worry about distance, because it is like way off. Hole number 7. Hole number 7. Extra mile, season 23 ball. Par 4. Parc de Paris. I remember when this hole first came out, and I was going like I started off hitting up into this area, and then I went over and I started hitting up into this area, and I figured out the shot from over here, and Scooby calls me one day and says, I'm like, we were talking about this hole, and he's like, no, you hit it over to the left and you just get on and one. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But in this particular tournament, the wind is blowing different than it's ever blown before, and so we've got to use a bigger ball to get over there. But I really believe this on where the ball's landing. And let's see where the ball lands. But I think that once you crest the sand and the ball trajectory now recognizes that it's going to actually land in the fairway, that it carries a little bit farther. But like if you're going to hit in the sand, like if you're in that neighborhood where you're like in that, it only carries as far as it's showing you. But it feels like that you get a lot more carry down in that hole than just a simple wind adjustment. Okay, I need an extra mile and a season 23 ball, and if I need to pull out anything else other than possibly my putter and maybe my rapier, no shit. All right. So I'm only gonna do 6 topspin. I came here the first time and I put on max topspin, and I ended up on the backside. And I've been on the backside before, and I've made probably 50% of the shots from the backside, but this time I was in the backside and I was dead, like right behind a tree. And I had to do a max curl, almost the max curl hook to get it to go around it, and got lucky and it did go around it. Okay, there's a spot on that tree. See how it dips down? And I want my ball guide to be going right over that. I'm going to put on 6 topspin. There's 3, 6. Alright, 2, 2. 2, 2. And put a little bit of curl on it. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. We'll see where it ends up. It's all about, like, I wanted to clip that rough and roll out. And with 6 it was, and it might have been trajectory on there too, but I know with the whole 8.5, I was like way over on the other side. Can make this shot though. The shot, if you're coming at it from over here on this little fairway, if you're up in the shadow, that shot coming from over there, I had that shot worked out at one time, and it seemed like there was a very slight adjustment, like 5%, like one way or the other. There was a very slight adjustment, and because it takes like a little bit of an irregular, and the ball guide's lying to you because of the ball guide can't get past where it's digging into the ground. But the ball's actually gonna, I can't remember if it's short. It runs long there. It runs a lot hotter than you think it's gonna run. I can't remember, but I know there is a slight, there's some slight maneuvering you got to do. What kind of distance we got here? All right, just need to hit it perfect. Get it perfect. In the hole. Get in the hole. You got to be shitting me. Got to be kidding me. Oh. That is a bummer. That is a bummer. That is a shot though in the weekend round that that particular hole, that's a hole right there that can make your round. Like if you can pick that hole up, like if you're just talking about trying to shoot in the 28, 30, you're looking at the 30 range, just like holes that you can pick up. Like that hole right there is a hole that you can pick up like every time. That gets you one of those two that you're looking for. I'm going to try 7 topspin. I'm going to erase my 6 and go to 7. I actually like the trajectory that I was on coming through those trees like that, because you're on more of the trajectory that's going towards the hole. If you hit the backside of that green, it'll actually roll around and it'll go towards the cup. But you got to have just the right speed. I wonder if there's a rough bump here. Maybe not. That might be dangerous from down there. I actually like that hole. I used to hate that hole. When that hole first came out, I was not a fan. But I'm a bigger fan now. Hole number 8. Euro champions. I'm taking a sniper and a nav. Parc de Paris. Hole number 4. Quattro. Cat. Alright, I'm going to try. I was doing a 20% wind adjustment, and I had no idea whether that's right or wrong. But I think in one-on-one play, that's like my standard number that I do on this, because the wind direction will affect it. But like that's a spot to start, because, and I'm going to do 1 right-hand side spin. But I'm going to try a 10%. Alright. Sniper and a nav. I'm really kind of excited because I haven't been making any shots, but I haven't been getting any lag. And that is exciting. Alright, here we roll. Rolling. What's up, Jasper? Jasper is in the house. Alright, times the wind. 3.8. mid club. 1.25. It's 3.34 ranks. Hey, get where I can see you, bitch. .34. I'm gonna run out of time. I was dicking around. I ran out of time. Phew. Made a bad wind adjustment, but at least I got it off perfect. That was my fault. That wasn't anything on the shot that I have in there. I was like looking at my notes, and I was trying, instead of coming here and just like setting it up, I was trying to look at where I already had the numbers. That was all me. That was me. Sup, man? What's up with you, brother? I'm hanging out in the Pacific Northwest. We had a nice day today. It was overcast this morning and cool, and then it got bright and hot in the afternoon, just about the time we were finishing. Ah, the smell of sodium hypochlorite in the morning. Barty. So I haven't picked up anything on the front. I just played around. I put myself in some positions to pick some shots up. Didn't capitalize on them. I feel good about it. I feel good that I'm just playing and I haven't had any lag. I have literally played hardly. My teammates can tell you I've been on very little because there's just like no sense in getting on. I mean, it's like the lag's so bad to me. You're just, why don't I just give you my coins? And I don't even care if I'm giving them my coins. The whole deal is it was a lag fest up to that point. So I've been playing. Or very little. Just tournament stuff. Alright, hole number 9. Hole number 9. Park de Paris, hole number 6. Alright, I'm going to play this shot in a way that I've never played it this way before. I played to the right. I tried the rough bump through the trees. I've played a bunch of different types of shots over here on the right hand side, like far up trying to swing it around, way back trying to bring it over, but I'm going to do a rough bump on the left hand side of the tree with a 10% on the drive. I'm taking an extra mile, extra mile, and a sniper and a kingmaker. That's all I need. And my dog. And I can tell you my dog would not go with me. He is a mama's boy. All the way. Where are you from, Jasper? Where's everybody from? I know we've got a New Zealander in the house, and we've got a Utahian. Mike D was in the house. He's from Texas. Scooby's from Pennsylvania. As far north as you can get from Philadelphia. Man, Philadelphia is a dirty town. There's a lot of there's some cool stuff in Philadelphia, but like town-wise, like streets and like just like big city stuff. There was some pretty stuff there though. So we were in Philly. I was there with my sister. I was staying with her. She lived in Philadelphia. I went and saw her the year that she died. I actually saw her about 5 months before she died. I went out there and stayed with her for a week. I stayed there, and then I went to Scooby's house, actually, because Scooby lives at the top of the state, and hung out and did a bunch of stuff. Went and saw all the attractions in Philly and was a tourist. But we went and did the Philly cheesesteak thing. So every time we got in an Uber, I'd ask the Uber driver, like, where do you get a Philly cheesesteak? Like, no, where you tell all the tourists to go. I mean, like, your mama comes over to your house and says, where do I go? Like, go get me a Philly cheesesteak. Like, where do you go get your mama her Philly cheesesteak? And we kept a list of it. And then we went to, there was 3 places. There was the king of cheesesteaks, or the king of cheese. And then there was one that was in, what the hell was the name of that one? D'Alessandro's. And I got the D'Alessandro's like right at the right moment. I like walked up, opened the door and walked in. There was like 6 people in line, and I put in an order, and they had a pile. They had a pile of freaking meat on this cooker in the back. And within about 20 minutes, church got out. It was like in less than 20 minutes. Like, church must have got out like 5 minutes before I got there, or 2 seconds before I got there, because within 20 minutes there was like 500 people there. And I was thinking, you guys made all that for what? One of the back side of the cup. Straight up, 3/8. Uh-oh. See if I can hit it perfect. Oh! I'm gonna ring great to the right. And where I was set up on the outside, the outside of the cup. So when you're looking at the cup, it's the top part of the cup. All right, I understand how that shot goes now. I'll be quicker next time I take it. I won't be thinking about D'Alessandro. So we went there, and I will tell you something. This is just me personally, but every single like the top thing that people told us to do in Philly if we were going to go get a cheesesteak was to go to D'Alessandro's, and you had to get sharp provolone. I'm not a fan of sharp provolone. That stuff is way rancid. So the sandwich was kind of skewed because I wasn't a fan of that cheese. But I tried another one at the other place, the king of whatever, the prince, some royal name. And they weren't bad, but I'm still not a Philly cheesesteak fan. I don't know what it is about it. It's there's something about it. Now there's a rough bump from up there. Now I don't think there's enough topspin to get you all the way down there. All right, let's try 2. Which ring do I have? Let's see if I can get the red line issue squared away. It's 7.2 rings. There's 5. There's 6. There's 7. 2. Okay, now that is a 100% wind adjustment, and I should be on the left-hand side. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh! You're gonna pay somebody for a perfect, and look at that. That was right on that track for a perfect. So you'd think that like I did 100%, I hit it to the right, and I still, if I would have hit it perfect, I would have been to the left. So let's do that math. 3, 6. Hold on a second. Let me do this math here. Wind was blowing in that direction. 3, 6. I'll move 7, 2. I hit a grate to the right. Here's the cup, and I ended up right at the cup. So perfect would have been there. So that was an over pull at 100%. So I have finally reached the point at 100% where I'm ending up somewhat close to the cup. So I'm going to drop that down to a 90%, and we're going to work our way back to 50. I want to see if in the shootouts I can get that shot worked out, because in the tournament I'm going to do that rough bump. All right, hole number 10. Oh, damn. All right, we're back on hole number 1. What is hole number 1? Drew more links. Hole number 2. All right, 15% times whatever the wind is. All I need is a grizzly and a navigator and a half a backspin. A grizzly, a navigator, and a half a backspin. And let's actually play. Let's see if I can play it. Let's see if I can pick it up on the back and see if I can learn lessons from the front. And this is a hole right here. This is a hole right here that I have to make in the weekend round. Like, I got to get this hole worked out. Like, this is a big hole. I think there's a lot of people that are still having problems on this hole, and this is a hole that if you've got it worked out, you could definitely do good. Now, I have no idea. Hey, Doug, the question is, like, what's Golf Clash Notebook going to do? I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, people are still using their app, so I mean, I know that a lot of you out there are using their app. So are they still updating their app, or is it old? Okay, white ring off, half a backspin. .5 equals 4.02 rings. Hey, get lined up. It's 4.02. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if that sucker will go in the hole. Get in the hole. Go home, ball. Go home. Go home! Rat bastard. And that was a slight underpull. I could change the notation on my notes. Yeah, I have no idea. It's totally screwing me up. Like, I started, like, when the game first came out, we went through that December, and I finally got Scooby. I was trying to get my buddy Scooby. I was trying to get him off of the COK, the Clash of Kings tit, and I got him, and I set up an account for him, and I got him started. And so he started January, like right around Christmas, 2017, January 1st, 2018, like that week period, that's when Scooby started. And so I started shooting videos to show him how to do the wind ring method, which he doesn't do, of course. And right at that same time, is when Golf Clash Notebook came out. And so I was like, this is cool, because like being able to draw on the screen and actually have, because before that we didn't have anything. So I mean, like we didn't have pictures other than the crappy little pictures that they give us when they announce a tournament. We didn't have crap. So Golf Clash Notebook was like the best thing since sliced bread. And now that they're not maintaining it anymore, it's jacking me up, because I've been using it the whole freaking time. I mean, and I've never talked to anybody from Golf Clash Notebook, never had any conversations with them, but I've always tried to promote their website, because it's definitely a huge contribution to the community. And I don't know, I can't believe that somebody hasn't stepped up. But I mean, are they still charging for the app? Are they still updating it? I'm gonna try there, Jasper. I am super never concerned, like in the opening round, like pretty much even in the weekend rounds, it's always just, it's one hole at a time. And I try, like sometimes I can't, so I'll get up and I'll walk away. But I usually try and forget about whatever happened on last hole and totally forget. Like I just looked down when I started playing this hole and I saw that I was at minus 13. I was like, wow, I picked one up somewhere. I just thought I was just like playing a minus 12 round. I'm trying not to even like pay attention to the game at all. And I play a lot like that, where I don't even focus. I'm not really too focused on the score. And I'm not trying to add it up in my mind, because I don't. I just want to, I'm just out there with my caddy. I got earmuffs on, I got earplugs in. I'm listening to freaking gorillas. I find I play better if I just play one hole at a time and I'm not thinking about it, and I'm not trying to like do the, and I definitely in the weekend round never go look at the top. I absolutely do not. I did that when I first started playing, and you go out there and you see somebody that popped out a score that at that time when you're trying to get to that point in the bracket, it's like, hey, you know, like a 28 or a 30 is like way the hell out of my league. And they were just the first ones up there. So like somebody else may have come up and put out a better score, and so like I already put myself into the mindset of I have no shot. So then I get super aggressive on every freaking hole trying to like get that shot to go in, and end up jacking myself up. And it took me a while when I first started playing to recognize that it's better to just go out there and get the minimum score and try and pick up shots. And I learned some of that stuff, like I got lucky. I think I got lucky because back in the day, hole number 11, Drew Moore Links, hole number 3. Back in the day, you could replay somebody over and over and over and over and over and over. Scooby and I got each other one day and we played all day. All day. I've told the story about Nicholas, Tommy's friend Nicholas. You going to get Buster?
Yeah.
Mwah. I'm taking a rock and a kingmaker. So I went out there with Nicholas, and I was in Tour 3, and I was just in Tour 3, and I had a bankroll. Like, I'm a big fan of like going up. Like, I want to go up, and when I go to Tour 3, I'm like staying in Tour 3, or Tour 4, staying in Tour 4. So I get to Tour 3, and I got a pretty good sized bankroll. And I ran into Nicholas, and he was a maxed out trophy player with, at that time, like what you have when you're in Tour 3 versus what he had as a maxed out trophy player. At that time, he still didn't have maxed out stuff because the game was that new, but he had like extra mile 7. And I'm pretty sure I lost 30 in a row. I sat there and played him for a long time, for hours. And we played I think he was shooting video, but he was trying out holes and he was doing some weird stuff on holes, but he was able to recover because he had great recovery clubs. And I went out there and he just beat me over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I kept hitting replay, and he kept replaying me and taking my money. And it was the best learning experience because there's some techniques that I learned And that was probably within like, that was in my auto account. So that was probably like in June, maybe early July of 2017. And the deal is that I learned some valuable lessons right there. The running your rapier out. He had a Firefly and he was doing it with a Firefly. He was running his topspin out. When I got done, I was keeping track of his clubs, and when I got done, I went to go look at those clubs, and I was like, well, that's just a shitty club. And then I was like, well, it's got great ball guide and it has great great topspin. And he was using the topspin to make those shots. And so, really started figuring out and understanding the thing about ball guide. .35. Take a little off. There's 3. About 3.3 max curl. Hitting it perfect. Should go dead center, right down the middle. Nice rollout. All right, it's -10 to the cup. So it's 0.9 times whatever the wind is. So that shot was set up with 3 3/4 of a ring off. So I was 3/4 of my blue ring off. My 3/4 of my blue ring was in the fairway. I took off a little. My notes say -5, but I took off probably 3. So I took off somewhere in that neighborhood. It was a little less than 5, but it was a little. Max everything on a rock, max curl. If you had a QB, you just have to work out how many rings to be off. It's somewhere between 4 and 5, just depending on the level of your club. And if you bring out a 2-side spin ball instead of a 3-side spin ball, it's going to be different. You're going to have to, it's probably only going to be like 3, maybe 4. Let me be back here. I'm not sure from that distance. 3.9. I may be in mid club. I'm going to do a full adjustment. It's 3.5 rings. Oh my gosh. My timing has been so bad. And I was in the same damn spot last time too. I wasn't even paying attention. I was like, because I didn't hit the last one great or perfect either, and I was long on the last one. And my notes even say leave short of the cup. You know what would help right now is if you actually wrote your notes down. And I have this piece of paper. I have this piece of paper right here, right next to me, and on there it says right here, leave short of the cup. It'd be nice if I write that stuff down and actually read it. I might have a better shot. Maybe. What else did I learn that day? I learned a shot with a Guardian. I learned a technique with a Guardian that it's why when we only had one bag, my primary bag was an Extra Mile, a Guardian. A Saturn and a Claw. I wasn't a Hornet user at that time. I didn't like the Hornet. But then I had it explained to me one day by Zachary Jones exactly how the accuracy ball guide of a Hornet worked and why, like with these other clubs, and I was successful with my Claw. What I wasn't successful with was a Thorn. A Thorn I was always close. And so the video that Zachary did was like, hey, you know, like everybody wants to do a Thorn because Tommy likes a Thorn. It's like his favorite club. And everybody wanted to do a Thorn. It's like, and everybody keeps, you know, we see it in the forum that everybody's like, you're saying you're always close with a Thorn. Well, if you really want to get in the hole, you should start using a Hornet. I almost regret having upgraded my Hornet from level 8 to level 9, because at level 9 it got 100% accurate, and the numbers that it had before, I'd played those numbers for 2 years, and I mean, I was like, if you hit it perfect, bam, it's in the hole. And I don't necessarily feel, it almost feels like it screwed it up. Hole number 12. Drew Moore. Hole number 1. Uno. Oh. All right. It seemed like there was some deal going on with my club. I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna take the shot. Yeah, that's a pure side wind. I'm trying to decide whether or not I like that shot up there. I don't know if I like the shot to the left. But it seems like the shot to the right is a pure side. I mean, like you're hitting, no, I mean, like no matter where you end up at there, you got almost, not quite, but almost a pure side wind. I'm going to do the shot one more time. I've taken that shot from the right the vast majority of times I've been on this hole, so there's not much setup going on over there. About one less than max. Max? 3-4? Just 3-4. Wow, it feels so weird to just be able to set your shot up and actually not have any lag and get back to your thing, and you're not even in the numbers yet. What does that feel like? And I still hit it great. And I'm in the rough. All right. I think that's what the deal was last time. Nah, maybe I was in the rough last time. I can't remember. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. I came out here on the first day in the practice round and I shot that shot over there with a big topper, and I did it with my odd account, and it only has like a big topper 6, which is pretty comparable to a 5 and a 4 as far as distance and those things, and was way up there. But in this account I have a big topper 7, and I think I could actually overdrive it because I got more distance now. Where the hell am I at in my club? And there's max, there's mid. So I'm at about 3/4, so I'm at about 3 per ring. That's 2. Somewhere in that neighborhood. And I hit it 7,000 rings good to the left. I've got hesitation. Now I've got so much built-in autocorrect. I need to sit down and actually just watch some TV with my wife tonight and just play some one-on-one and just play for like I used to play. I'd sit down and we'd be watching TV and I'd be playing the whole time. So we might watch TV for a couple hours and I'd play for a couple hours and get some matches in and just not record, not do anything, and just play and just get some timing back. I feel out of sorts. I'm like anticipating that it's gonna jump, and so like I'm still like in the anticipatory mode. Since they came out with the new needle, I've been having so much lag that I really haven't had an opportunity to actually get used to the new needle. It pisses me off though. The deal is that if you're admitting that the bullseye should have been half the size of what the bullseye was to begin with, then that means the grate to the left or the right is also now off, because now we have the center thing which represents a perfect, but the first line over does not represent a grate to the right. It represents half of a grate to the right. And then the next line over represents half again. So a 1.5 or 2.5. That's the deal. And so I'm trying to catch it with my eye, so like you can set some of these shots up, and it's hard. I'm having a hard time catching that spot. Okay, we got a 3.8 headwind. I still think I can work it out. I'm doing a 90% wind adjustment here. So I'm doing 1.9 times whatever the wind is and see if I can work that wind out. And with a headwind, I'm not, like I said, I'm not concerned about distance here. I'm just trying to make sure I can get on track with the hole. .6, almost 5 rings. I don't think I left myself enough room. Not quite enough, about 3/4 of a ring. So I'm going to rub up against the nubs. Ah, jarr! The good news is that I hit a grate to the left, and it actually went what looks like about a grate to the left, and that's at a 90. So if you're doing that backspin shot down there, that's the difference between. That's why I say when somebody tells you like, hey, oh yeah, you do a +20 on that. Okay, what shot exactly are you doing on that? And what clubs and what ball are you using? And what direction was the wind? All right, we're going to hole number 4. Hole number 4 is the first of the Nordic Fords. Hole number 2. Thanks, Dwayne. Dwayne's in the house. Nordic Fords, hole number 2. That is the hole we were just on. Okay, so I'm doing the rough bump here. And I'm not gonna think about numbers. I'm just gonna dial it up. I'm taking a katana. I know it's 3 and 3. This might be one of those things where they changed the hole around. I swear there was a tournament here not too long ago. We had a hole and we were like killing it. We were all over it. Like we were like one adjustment away from it, just like going bam, bam, bam. And then the weekend round came and they did something. And that shot did not work anymore. That adjustment did not work. Oh, and I'm trying the wrong shot. That's okay, I'm already set up for it. I looked down and I thought, 4.18. Oh, jeez. And that's because I didn't start off on the green. I didn't put enough backspin on it. What was I thinking? What I thought was I was talking and I looked down and I saw that we were on par 3 and I thought shootout. I didn't think hole. And so I went, okay, in the shootout I'm doing that shot right there. And I knew I was doing the freaking rough bump. Do you see why I don't get upset when I'm playing? Because if you get upset every time you make a mistake, this is a lack of concentration. My caddy's like, dude, get your head in the game. Hit me perfect. That was a scary putt for me. I've missed a lot of putts from that distance. I've missed a lot of putts that, like, everybody, like, your opponent's like, what? Now, I miss putt. I will force shootouts when I'm playing, especially if we're practicing for a tournament, because I'm trying to get as many of those holes as I can possibly get, and I'll force shootouts and I'll miss putts, but there's a lot of times, I won't say a lot of times, but there are times when I'm trying to make it and it doesn't go in. It's been known to happen. It's a known issue. I have no idea what I picked up on the front. I must have picked up one of the par 4s. Maybe this one right here. Hole number 14. Hole number 14. Extra mile. This is hole number 6, extra mile firework ball. I think this was the one I picked up, and the guy forfeited, and I wasn't thinking about what I did have that shot in the bag. I'm taking a firework ball. Do I have any 4 power? I think that one will work. Okay, so last time I took this shot, it was with a 4.5 mile an hour wind, and I was in a pretty good spot. Hold on. I was in a pretty good spot. And we did 3 less. It was 3 less than max topspin with a 4.5 mile an hour wind. So if the wind's higher than that, I may take some wind out. If the wind's lower than that, I'll just have to deal with it. But if I get a wind higher than 4.5 miles an hour, 4.5 wind. We got a 3-4 right now. So there's 1, 2, 3 less. I'm gonna do 4.5. Where's that put me? Not near enough. It's 5.5. All right, let's see if we can roll. That's just clipping that rough. And I hit it 2 rings great to the right. And it's worse to hit it to the right. It'll bounce good here, but it'll hit right there. Bad, Gordon. What's up, Dale? Dale is in the house. I am just shooting flat, Dale. That's what I'm doing. I made a putt. No, yes, I did. I made a putt. I made a putt that was longer than 4 yards, 5 yards. Demoing how to shoot the minimum score is what I'm doing today. I'm going to make this sand shot though. I missed a rough shot on the front that would have, I missed a shot on the front that was out of the rough. I hit it perfect and it should have went in, and I miscalculated it. I think that would have made the front 9 pretty good. And I got the right club for this. I do. I do. I am not going off the cub. I'm going right to the edge. Yeah, one ring great to the right. Just missed it on the outside. Just that close. That close. That close. That far away. It was somewhere between the distance between where I'm at and where Dale Appleby's at from going right into the cup. And Dale's got to be a good... I think Dale lives in British Columbia somewhere. From here to the Canadian border, it's about 240 miles, 250 miles. And it's not very far from there into Vancouver. Buster's home. He was at the vet all day. What's up, Mark Jones? How are you doing? Pamela Tears in the house. What up, Pamela? Is it Mark Quibbler? Mark Quibbler? From PTV. All right, I have to pick up every single hole in order to get up to where I want to be, just for my minimum. What I want my minimum to be is at minus 14 a ramp. So I got to pick up 3 in the next 4 holes. Hey Buster, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, how's he doing? Come in there and let him lay down. See if he'll go right to sleep. All right, that was not. Say that again. Okay. Hole number 15. This par 5. QB. Kingmaker. Half a top spin. I know which hole this is. This is Nordic Fjord. Hole number 5. Hole number 5. Da-da-da-da. QB Kingmaker Sniper. QB Kingmaker Sniper. Alright, I'm doing plus 10 to the hole. So 1.1 times whatever the wind is, divided by 1. Off we roll. Marquis. We have one of our teammates, his name is Jake Easy, but that's not how his name is spelled. About a half a top swing. Seems like I ended up a little short last time. 2-9. Right at 3 rings. A little less than 3. Some curl. Hit it. 2 rings great to the right. Or left. Yo left. It's all about distance there, not overshooting that. If you end up in that rough, you're SOL. I don't see as many people do it, but I still see people hit over to this side right here. And I have no idea what they're doing other than just giving up. Pissing the greenskeepers off. They're like, dude, don't walk over there, man. We got a wedding over there next week. We're trying to keep it clean. No divots. How's Hank doing? I need to talk to Hank. I haven't talked to Hank in I talked to Hank a couple weeks ago. I called him up to see when he took a little sabbatical, and I called him up and talked to him and just to see how he was doing and make sure everything was all right. 2.8, 3.1 rings. Here's 3-1. 3-1. Let's get it on. I swear, first time by, I can hit it perfect. Second time by, great to the left. Third time by, great to the right. Fourth time by, great to the... Fourth time by, fourth time by, great to the left. Fifth time by, great to the right. Somewhere, I'm sure, there is a perfect. I'm sure of it. It's only fitting that I should come in with a weak tiebreaker. And have to blast it off in the weekend round. I actually need to start playing just so that I can have fun with the game. We've had so many damn tournaments. Tournament. I mean, I know we've had a couple off weeks since March. Hell, the stuff even in February with the major. We've had so many tournaments that we really are like, for a guy like me, I stream most or shoot video for most of what I'm playing, so it's all about the tournament stuff, and all we've done is tournaments. There hasn't been that much time to actually just go out and shoot some videos and just play some one-on-one, chill out. Don't care if you get every little teeny thing right, and just go play the game and just have some fun. You can do that every little teeny thing when you get into the tournament. You get into the weekend round, you're getting up towards the weekend round, you can start really starting to dial it in, but just going out and trying to have some fun. It's not going to happen. And winner chicken dinner. Good luck in the tournament. That was hole 15 in the book. Hole 16. I'm running out of freaking holes here. I need -7, so there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess it's still possible if I hole out everything. So hole number 16. Parc de Paris. Hole 1. Alright, let's see if we can actually get something happening here. I was on the right trajectory, I think, last time, and I missed this shot. I hit it perfect coming in, and I did not make it. And I've got this shot. Even if I end up in the rough out there, it's just a matter of hitting perfect. And I'm a little irritated I couldn't get that one to go in. All right, here we roll. It's rolling. Yeah, I'm with you, Pamela. It is. It is a figment of my imagination. And part of that is it's timing, and it's just playing a lot and getting your timing down and doing the thing. And I normally I can switch it up. Like a lot of players only hit from the left to the right, or they only hit on the fourth time by, or they only hit from the right to the left, or they only do it one way. And I like to mix it up because sometimes it feels like you're getting a better run on one side or the other, and I like to mix it up. So usually if I'm not hitting perfect on one side, I can switch to the other side and I'll start catching perfects, and then I can just like do whatever I want to do. But I can't get, I'm incapable of, evidently, of getting into that rhythm. So I used 6 last time. I'm going to use 6.5. What the hell is it hitting? Alright, take the wind out. 4-4. 2 rings is 4-2. There's some distortion in the ring, so I'm going to go about that much. A little bit of curl. 2 rings great to the right, and that's bad. That's bad news. That's bad. Because that potentially puts me behind the trees. So the deal is I can get up from there, but I may not have a shot where I can actually go for it. So I have to abandon going for it and just make sure I can get up there and get in a good position, make a short putt, get the hell out of there. So I didn't give myself a shot. That's a failure. The whole goal is to give yourself minimum score on every hole, and on every hole, put yourself in the right position to pick up a shot. Maybe. Doubtful. Yeah, I'm right behind that fucking tree. Right behind it. How far out there can I get? Where am I? There's max club, there's mid, so I'm at mid club right there. Mid club is 4, so it's about a ring. It's a little downhill, so that's a little bit of an overpull. Max curl. Hit it great on the inside, great to the right. And with that shot, great to the right was better than great to the left. Yup, that's the way it works, man. You end up behind a tree or you end up something. The deal is that I'll tell you, that's another lesson learned the hard way. And that's in real golf, is that sometimes you're in a spot where the best shot is behind you, or the best shot is to, like, you know, the whole deal is that you can make a bad thing worse by trying to press your luck, or you can just go, hey, look, I missed my eagle opportunity because of my drive, so now the whole goal is to go up there and make sure I can secure my birdie, because birdie's minimum score. Because the goal on this hole is not eagle. The goal on this hole is birdie. And the goal is to get a birdie and give yourself an eagle opportunity. If you get the eagle, that's a, oh, yes sir. That's a woohoo. Alright, I'm doing a 90% on this. I'm trying it out with different winds. This is going to be actually a beneficial win for me, so I can land on the freaking green. Try and set the shot up right. Not take the wrong shot on an actual tournament hole. We're actually in a shootout right now. I think. Alright. There's my red line. I got plenty of room. Maybe 3.5. I'm a little bit to the right of the cup. 6.65 rings. There's 6.65. And I did get a little lag right there. It jogged. And the only hole-in-one I'll make all week on that hole will be that shot right there on a grate. Because it's taking an irregular bounce. So I'm not going to do that shot anymore. I wanted to see if I could work that shot out, because like if you needed to, like you could, like if you epic fail that rough bump one time and you're like, man, that wigged me out, I can't afford to have that happen. You could always go to a secondary shot. And that is, I suppose that is a secondary shot, and you can get it done with your sniper. All right. How's he doing? How you doing, Buster?
Hi.
How are you doing, Buster boy?
I high as a kite and soar.
That works.
Okay. You'd rather have you sing pizza?
Yeah, that's fine. All right, hole number 17. What are we on hole number 17? Sniper nav. Parc de Paris, hole number 4. That's par 3 right here. And I jack this up on the front, and I play this I played this hole a bunch. Sniper and a navigator. Yeah. I'm going to open up one of those chests. I want to open up one of those golds, but I'll open up one of these silvers. Oh, that was 24 common cards in the bag. Trying to get 300 a day if you're in that prism chest. Yep, the first time by, that thing on there, Black Dragon, the first time by, I catch perfects a lot. You have to set it up really quick and get it into that spot, but I have been in that spot so many freaking times. Okay, what am I doing on this hole? 20%, 10%. So 4.3, that'd be 4.7. I'm afraid to let it go. That was like in the old days, that would have been on the perfect side of that line where we would have went, wow. How was that a great? Dang it. I think I've hit like 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 perfects all day. That's good though. I'm never really too upset when I go into if I'm playing a little flat and playing a little bit of deal. This whole deal, the only round that counts in Golf Clash is the weekend round. So all the rest of that stuff is great. It's nice. It's very, very nice to have tiebreakers on everybody in your bracket. It's very nice. But you still have to come out, even if you have tiebreakers, and you still have to come out and you have to post around. I mean, you got to pop a round out. So if I have to play it the hard way, then I guess I'm going to have to play it the hard way. You got to get back on track, and there's no better way to get back on track than to have to play it the hard way. Good game. Let's see which one of the par 3s we can. I'm going to forfeit. All right. Are we back at the end? We are. We're all the way back at the end of this. We have made the turn. We are on the last hole. And we're on 23. So that means the best I can get is a 26. Which is 2 less than what I really wanted to shoot. My minimum is 24, so at least I'm above that. At 25th. So coming in tiebreakers, I mean, you think about like if you were at 23 coming in tiebreakers, like this was the round, they take half of your round and half of another. So that means that you'd come in like 50th in tiebreaker. So you definitely want to be the higher up you are, the better. If you're in the top 10, that's better. If you're in the top 3, that's better. Being top in the bracket is awesome. But I would imagine when we get up here to the top, we're looking at 28 to 30 is 31. Hopefully that's not one of those types of brackets. And I didn't run into the Des or the Kyle or the Johnny or the slew of people on my team that post the monster scores. All right, the last hole. Taking a QB and a sniper. And this is actually the second time I've taken this shot. Only the second time I've taken this shot. So the first time I just wanted to see like how it's set up. So I do know that you've got to spin it around from the other direction to move the wind out because the tree's going to be in your way. So I should be able to set this shot up a little bit faster. And let's end this with a perfect in the hole albatross. And that will at least give me some hope for the future. So let's just take a QB and a sniper. That's it. Let's just leave everything else in the bag and just go get an albie right here. Right now. If I can hit one perfect shot, I think I can make an albie. And I'm going to. Right now. Maybe. Now I'm stuck. I didn't bring any other clubs other than my QB and my sniper, so now we have to get it. Have to pick it up. See what my opponent's doing. They got a quarterback. I think with a I'm not sure where you end up as far as length on the other side of the quarterback. It seemed like you'd end up more if you wanted to do the shot to the right. You do the shot to the right, I mean, they pretty much, if you walk up and the course marshal says, which way are you going? And you go, I'm going to go to the right. They pretty much just stamp eagle on your scorecard. It's hard not to get an eagle if you go to the right, if you bring the right club. But my chances of albie from that shot are pretty grim. 3-3, and I'm going to do a 10% pull. So it's 3-6. There's 4-2, so we're about a ring and 3/4. Hit it perfect. Now let's see if we can get another shot. 2 shots in a row. Hey, that would be putting a round together. I got 2 perfects in a row. In a row. That would be amazing. I think if I can put 2 shots together in a row, we're gonna make albie right here. Yeah, Pamela, if you've only got one account, my recommendation to anybody who plays any kind of game like this is that you start a second account. Especially if you know somebody who's new, or if you don't have a second account, start one now. And you'll get a second account that has clubs that's very similar to yours, so that you can go out and practice those holes. You can go out and play, on Monday you can play a practice round, and you can use some Titans and just go out there and get some familiarity with the holes. And your goal number 1 is just to figure out what you need in your bag to get the minimum score, and where that's putting you, and what the shot is that it's giving you to the cup to try and pick up the hole-in-one, or pick up the eagle, or pick up the albie. And sometimes, especially if you got lower developed clubs, you may find that you just don't have a shot. So or you have a really bad shot because you just don't have the clubs, and that's okay. It's 2-3. And my grid disappeared. There's 1, 2, 3. Now let's hit this one perfect. Hitting it perfect. 2 perfect shots in a row. Woo! How sad is that? How sad is it when the highlight of your day is they hit 2 perfect shots in a row? Look at how just a little, and it looked like it was going to be a little short. It looked like when I first set it up that it was on the high side of the cup. And so I was trying to move it to get it to where it was going to the cup, and I moved it the wrong direction, and it was definitely off. But a little teeny bit closer to the cup. That was a straight up shot, no extra adjustment, just the normal wind, no elevation. 2 perfects in a row, and that was that close. Yeah, it's really hard. Like Pamela, when I first started, I started off only because I played app games before, and I knew, like, I started my auto account. I was like May 29th. We got on vacation. It was a Saturday. It was like June 1st was Saturday when we got there, and it was May 30th or however many days were in May. It was the first day of June when we got there, and I started playing, and I recognized like right away. So it was like probably before we left, because we were there for 2 weeks. Before we left, I started up a second account, and then I started using it as my pure practice account. Because in most games, in a lot of other games, you got to have a farm, so you're used to playing with. Which hole is this? 25. 10 would be 3, 6, 7.5. So 3, 7.5. There's 3, 7.5. Hit it great to the right. So I only hit 2 perfects in a row. But I recognized very quickly that you needed to have a second account, and started one and started playing it. And so I was able to, back then, anything that was in, so tours 2 was tour 7, tour 3 was tour 8, tour 4 was tour 9, tour 5 was tour 10, tour 6 was tour 11, and tour 7 there wasn't anything up there for that yet. And so anything that you played in tours, so like if you were playing in tour 4, and you were playing an expert or masters, or if you were playing up in the upper divisions, and you could go down there and you could practice the shots to the green, or you could lay up to the same spot. Like you would literally go out there and you'd like lay up. Sometimes it may take 2 shots, but you'd lay up to the spot that you were shooting in your main account so that you could take the shot. And now, because of the way that they have the courses, it's a lot more convoluted. But back then it was pretty easy. So it was, if you had an account, and you never, ever, ever want to take an account that if you're trying to go for max trophies, or you're trying to get up there and you're playing in tour 10 and you're playing in tour 11, you never go down. There's a certain point where you can't go down, or you're not going to get live action, and all you're going to do is lose trophies, and you'll never get them back. I mean, they're really hard to get back because you're going against the AI. When the game first came out, like, the AI was like crappy. I mean, you were almost guaranteed to win. So it wasn't a bad deal going against the AI. And there was so few players going that you could have 25 trophies and go against somebody that had 4,000. So it was really key to have a practice account. But even now, it's still really important, because you can go out there on a Monday and try and establish. It gives you a bunch of opportunity to practice. Thank you, baby. And Tommy's deal is, and you got to look at it from Tommy's perspective. They do, like, most of the people that stream are streaming. Like, if you think about the dynamics of the game, as far as like numbers, like how many people play the game, and how many people are playing up at the top, and how many people are just playing the game. Like, I know that there's a lot of people that play pro, but there's a lot. I see it in my auto account. I mean, I have brackets fill up that fast with people who are ex-masters. who've got 10,000 games, 15,000, 30,000 games that are still playing and want to play, but they don't want to spend a bunch of money. They don't want to do that. They want to spend some money, but they don't want to go do the thing. So they play rookie, and they've got a master's account. And so when you watch a lot of the streamers that are out there, their focus is on expert and masters. And so the content that they're putting out and the shots that they have set up are really specific to those wins, because the win's always different in expert. Expert you can do stuff in expert that you can't do in any other division, because the wind is, you're getting like low masters win from the pro tees, so you can do some crazy shots when you're shooting master or expert. And it takes a lot of practice. When I had my odd account and I was playing expert, I used my 77 account. I strictly played rookie, and because I've never taken the 77 account above tour 7. And that way I can get live action. I can play tour 2 and get live action. And so I'm always, and it's so important to have a practice account. The other cool thing about it is that sometimes you may not make you have a main account, you may not make the weekend round, and so you always can fall back on your practice account so that you get a little bit more playtime. But I totally get why most of the streamers that are out there, their content is focused on masters and expert players and trying to get it done. But you look in there, so like guys that shoot pro or rookie, in the community itself, I think there's a lot of people that probably go, F odd, like that's BS, like look at the stuff. But I've never made any bones about it. The people, and I've shown in my brackets, like who you're playing against. You're playing against experts. They all have the same stuff as me. I think a lot of people have that impression is that, hey, I'm going to go up there and get some really good clubs, and then I'll go down and I'll be the guy. Well, guess what? When you go back down, you made yourself an expert, you made yourself a master. You're going to be playing against people that are expert and master. And there's a lot of people who've been playing expert master for a long time, and they got great shit. Okay? Much better stuff than me. Hell, I played against somebody in the last tournament that had an Apocalypse 7. I mean, what is an Apocalypse 7? I've heard that you can get it that high, but, like what the hell? So, I mean, if you've got an Apocalypse 7 in your bag, think about all the other clubs that are in that person's bag. And I was talking to Dale Appleby. The last time I talked to Dale Appleby, we were having the conversation we were having is, I have never lost to clubs. Like, I've never went out and been beat by clubs. I've been beat because that player used their clubs better, or I tanked it. But I've never been beat by clubs. So, like, when you're going out there, I think the impression when people are playing one-on-one especially is that, well, they had much better clubs than me. Well, that really, if you know how to play these holes, you can play these holes with any club. And if you're used to playing your clubs and you know how to play the game, you've got actually a leg up on somebody like me who goes down and you go, hey, I want you to use, like, we're planning a tournament for the Kings of Golf. And we've talked about, the club options. And my deal is that there's no good option for everybody except for basic clubs. Because if you go, well, we'll take all of the crappy epics. Well, like, all my epics are level 5. So, I mean, I don't have a lot of crappy epics. If you took the crappiest clubs, I suppose that you could make us hit every shot with a down and oneer, but a basic, doing basic clubs, and it doesn't matter how good a player you are when you go in there with basic clubs, you got to have some time and grade. So, like, if we do a tournament, I'm going to go out and practice with basic clubs, because you got to know your numbers. You got to know, like, how much that ball, because you don't have any ball guide. So you got to know, like, okay, when that's there, it's going to run out. Are you talking about my accent? Does my accent kill you? Do I have an accent? Like, really? No. I'm surprised because like you don't think like I don't think that I have an accent. So like when I go to other places in the United States, I always pick up on other people's accents, but I never really think of like in the Pacific Northwest. I never think about it as like, oh, Tommy, yeah, Tommy's accent. I was like, wow. Tommy, I'll tell you something about Tommy that a lot of people probably know, but he doesn't talk about anymore. Is when Tommy first started this game, he worked at an insurance company in Sweden, and he was like a receptionist, and he worked in the front. So like new policyholders would call up, and he handled the stuff like that, and it got to the point where it just totally interfered with the game. So he moved on, and now he does all of his stuff. His whole thing is with Golf Clash now. That's how he makes a living. But he started off with, and his English, the first there, and I don't even know if he shows that screen anymore, but the first time I saw him on there, the picture that he had that was on there is not, I swear, I mean, it is not the same guy who's shooting. I mean, it is the same guy, but when you hear him talk and you saw him, it did not, like when you saw him, the first time I actually saw him, I was like, okay, now the voice makes sense. But the picture that he had that was up there was off. It was like he was bald and he was it was like, it was a really weird deal. I go around the country though, and what I find funny is like when you watch stuff from the deep south, Louisiana, where they'll subtitle it, where people are talking. And I've worked so much in the south that I totally understand that. But I did work in West Virginia, and I will tell you that in West Virginia, they speak a dialect of English that I am unfamiliar with. It was actually the first time I've ever heard anybody in the United States talking where they supposedly were talking English, and I did not understand a single word they were saying. Yeah, I live in the Pacific Northwest, Salem, Oregon. Capital of Oregon, where my house is right dead center in the middle of the Willamette Valley, which is this huge farming valley. They do a lot of fruit, a lot of grass seed. We used to be the capital of the world's capital. We grew more grass seed here than anywhere else. We have a really big relationship with New Zealand. We taught New Zealand and got them breeder seed and registered seed and got them seed because New Zealand's now a key player in the grass seed, regular grass like lawn grass, golf course grass. Big valley, lots of farming. You can go right outside of town and bam, you're in farmland. It's cool. Yeah, I've got a buddy. I have two friends that live in South Carolina that live very close to each other, and I've known them for years, done tons of stuff with them. And my buddy Lynn, he's from Louisiana and moved to South Carolina and doesn't really have an accent, but my buddy Travis, who grew up in South Carolina, in the lowlands of South Carolina, he has got an accent. I mean, he is definitely from the South. Somebody told me one time that they go, what part of Canada are you from? And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, you have a Canadian accent. And I'm like, what? Like certain words that you say you have a Canadian accent. I'm like, I don't think that at all. We're West Coasters. We just speak English. Yeah, we have lots of tall fescue here, Des. A lot of ryegrass. We have I worked for a grass seed company for a while, for about a year. Managed one of their warehouses here. Lesco, they used to do nothing but golf course stuff, and it was all top-notch seed. That's how I know so much about the New Zealand connection, because there was a bunch of people from New Zealand around at that time when I was working in the grass seed industry. And you guys have, New Zealand's very similar to Oregon as far as like climate and mountains and that kind of stuff, which is a cool place to live. New Zealand sounds like I would love to go to New Zealand. I want to go to New Zealand and go vagabonding, where I just get off the plane with my stuff and go try and figure it out and spend like a week just trying to figure it out and then go somewhere. My wife's like, okay, here's what we'll do. You go do that and then you can meet me wherever in a week. Yeah, and you know, Dunner, I've talked to you and you don't really, occasionally there'll be one of those words or something, but you don't have that big of a Canadian accent either. Yeah, I should come to New Zealand, Des. I'll come stay at your house. I'll just show up and go, hey man, my wife's at the resort and I need some place to go. Need some things to do. Just go on a little trip. Rent a camper and just go. I'm sure that there's places to camp and places to go. I looked at a tour guide book. There's all kinds of stuff to do over there. And I'm really interested in some of the forests. All right, so minus 25. Not the score that I was looking for, but not bad. Minimum score is minus 24, so we're better than minimum. I got a lot of work to do. So my goal is, my weekend goal is 30 plus. So from where I'm at right there, that's 5 shots. I know for a fact that I missed one that I could have got in, and that would have put me at 26. That's 4, and I got to clear up those par 4s. I'm okay. I feel okay on the par 3s. I feel like if I hit some perfects in the par 3s, these par 5s, for whatever reason, for me, have never been big producers. Although I have some teammates that are absolutely freaking killing the par 5s, and we're doing the same numbers. So I know that it's there. It's just one of those things of getting it to drop. But there's a couple of par 4s here that I need to stabilize so that I can guarantee that I get those scores. That puts me at 28, and then anything else I can pick up will just be trying to get a banner. So good news, didn't have any lag. That means I'm going to play tonight. When I get done here on the stream, I'm going to go in, eat some dinner, sit down, watch some TV. I'm going to take my tablet in with me, and I'm going to play some one-on-one. I'm just going to go out and try and have some fun and try and get my perfect rhythm back. What I'm doing is I may go do the I may pull up the app and do the perfect timing so that I can practice a little bit. I'm so far off that I need to do something. But I think what the key is, I just need to go out and play and have some fun. Yep, may the drops be with me. May the force be with me. The force is with me. I am one with the force. The force is with me. I am one with the force. I need to get back on track. Last week, the tournament last week, I love those holes. I thought those Redwood Cup holes were awesome. And I played totally crappy. 15th place is absolutely unacceptable. It's got to be a top 10, top 5, at least like looking for the banner. You need to be in the banner hunt every week. But the lag killed me, and I absolutely lost my confidence. So I need to come back. And then I had it happen again in the 9-hole cup. So I just need to get some playtime in, have some fun. Thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate it.